Aloha and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jake, and on this episode of Ink Cinema, we're talking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. As I recap and review this movie, I'll be carving a linocut of Rocket. Stay tuned till the end to see how it turns out. Written and directed by James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is an intensely emotional, exciting comic book movie that beautifully blends all our favorite elements of this group of unlikely heroes.
It really is good to have friends.
Chapter 1, The Attack on Nowhere. The scene is set on Nowhere, the hub of interstellar commerce where the Guardians of the Galaxy have set up their headquarters. Suddenly, the peace is shattered as a sovereign warrior named Adam, created by the High Priestess Aisha, descends upon their new home. Adam overpowers the Guardians and seriously wounds Rocket. The Guardians soon discover that Rocket's injuries are not their only problem. A kill switch embedded in him by OrgoCorp prevents them from healing Rocket. The gruesome sight of his battered body is accompanied by the hum of machines beeping and whirring in the background as the rest of the team frantically searches for a way to save him. Desperate to heal their friend, the Guardians set out on a mission to OrgoCorp's headquarters to find his override code. There, they get the help from an unexpected ally, Gamora, who has joined the Ravagers. As Rocket lay unconscious, his mind drifts back to his past. We see his memories in vivid detail. As a baby raccoon, he was subjected to a scientist's twisted experiments. These were carried out by the High Evolutionary, a scientist obsessed with enhancing animal life forms into anthropomorphic species. We see Rocket's fellow test subjects, the adorable otter Lila, the walrus Teefs, and the rabbit Floor. But when the High Evolutionary sees that Rocket's intelligence exceeds his own, he orders Rocket's brain to be extracted and his friends incinerated. But before any of that could happen, Rocket develops an escape plan, and right as he and his friends are about to make their exit, the High Evolutionary enters and kills Lila. Rocket's rage boils over. He mauls the High Evolutionary's face and shoots the guards, but he's unable to save his friends, Teefs and Floor. Alone and filled with sorrow and anger, Rocket steals a spaceship and flees, forever on the run, seeking revenge against the High Evolutionary. Back on OrgoCorp's Fleshjackian headquarters, the Guardians infiltrate the facility, kidnap one of the employees, and successfully retrieve Rocket's file. But they find that the code has been removed. Gay gasp! The group suspected that Pfeil, one of the High Evolutionary's advisors, has it in his head. And bitch, they're gonna stop at nothing to get it out. Tell you that right now. Chapter 2, The Quest for the Override Code. The Guardians are in a desperate race against time. They're fighting for their friend's life, and they uncovered a plot that threatens the entire universe. The stakes are high, people. They travel to Counter Earth, and with the help of the residents there, trace Pfeil to the High Evolutionary ship. Oh yes! And they're being followed by Aisha and Adam. Of course. Drax and Mantis remain with Gamora and Rocket as Quill, Groot, and Nebula travel to the High Evolutionary ship. Nebula is forced to wait outside by the guards since her arm is a weapon, sickening Gwen, so Quill and Groot board the ship without her. Drax and Mantis chase after Quill's group on a motorcycle after Drax slyly tricks Mantis into getting onto the bike. And what do they find when they get to Pfeil? More chaos, of course. They come face to face with the High Evolutionary, who they don't seem fazed by. Groot says, "I fought some big daddies in my time, and your plumped up Real Housewives plastic surgery looking face doesn't scare me one bit." I mean, that's not exactly what he said, but yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but he said it in an MCU type of way. Sure. The High Evolutionary initiates the destruction of Counter Earth, which will kill all life on the planet, including Aisha. The building turns into a ship, and as it enters orbit, Quill and Groot leap off, kill Pfeil, and retrieve the code from his head. Just in time, as usual. Groot turns into a wooden motherfucking bird. Trivia time, girls. Is this Groot the same as this Groot? Because they look pretty different to me. I'll give you the answer in just a few. Gamora crashes the Guardian ship to rescue them, while Nebula, Mantis, and Drax board the High Evolutionary ship, not realizing that Quill and Groot have already jumped off. Back on the Guardian's ship, they fight to upload the code, but Rocket flatlines and has a near-death experience where he sees his old friends Lila, Teefs, and Floor. But Lila tells him that his time has not yet come. The code finally works, and it successfully disables the kill switch, saving Rocket's life. It's just a lot. Nebula, Mantis, and Drax come across hundreds of imprisoned humanoid children on the High Evolutionary ship before being captured themselves. Good one. They're then placed in a chamber with monstrous obelisks. Mantis befriends the huge creatures in the group to escape and reunite with the rest of the Guardians. I thought for a second they were gonna eat her fucking ass, eat her, gobble her all the way up, and not in the good way, but they didn't. Thank you, Lord. Hold on, I might have to fix my gloss. The shade, it's called iridescent. Girl, like that helps anyone. What a general word. Call it unicorn saliva, or the essence of pearl, or Shiv Roy's rage. Something like that. Wow, it really is iridescent. Chapter 3, The Final Showdown. The climax of the story is a glorious battle where the Guardians take on the High Evolutionary's army, fighting in a stunning display of acrobatics, slicing, dicing, and laser fire. The scene is a sensory overload, with explosions, smoke, and debris filling the air, and the Guardians leaping, dodging, and blasting their way to victory together. And what happens? They defeat the High Evolutionary's army. Period. Kraglin and Cosmo arrive with Nowhere, and Cosmo creates a telekinetic tunnel connecting Nowhere to the High Evolutionary ship so they can free the captured children. Rocket discovers animals on the ship. He's then attacked by the High Evolutionary, who just won't quit. But the rest of the team kick his ass, leaving him to die on his own ship. But not before peeling his face off. The Guardians rescue the animals and lead them aboard Nowhere just in time. But of course, as we think everything is right in the world, things take a turn. Quill is the last one to cross over, and just before he does, he drops his Zune. He makes the risky decision to go back for it, and at that moment, Cosmo's telekinetic tunnel breaks. I really thought it was over for him. But then, he's saved by Adam, who has a change of heart after Groot saved his life earlier. Wow, what a good guy. I just love when his costume was basically ripped off of him, and I could see his gorgeous golden body. Little nip or two. Speaking of nips, I got a little surprise for you. I'm giving you an exclusive peek at next video's project. Oh. The resolution brings the story full circle as the Guardians go their separate ways. Oh my gosh, I just realized James Gunn had the perfect opportunity to play separate ways. I just had an epiphany. I just had my Oprah aha moment. Hold on. I need to dial James. One moment. Well, I know that the movie's already out, but maybe we could edit it in to the, the DVD version, or you could actually just put it in and re-release it. So we can't do that? Okay, well, maybe let's just think about it for in future, like with the Justice League or something, or the Justice Society, or whatever they've got over there. They got both of them. Okay, it's really wonderful speaking with you, sir. Yes, it is. Okay, talk to you soon. He said I've got a walk-on role in Superman Legacy, so I'm basically set for life. I support the WGA strike, okay? The resolution brings the story full circle as the Guardians go their separate ways. We see Peter Quill, the dashing hero, bid farewell to his team as he passes down the title of captain to Rocket. Quill decides that it's time he reunite with his grandfather on Earth. As the iconic Dog Days Are Over plays through Nowhere's PA system, Mantis embarks on a journey of self-discovery with her new friends, the Obelisks. Gamora is reunited with the Ravagers while Nebula and Drax stay on Nowhere to raise the rescued children. In a mid-credits scene, the new Guardians, consisting of Rocket, Groot, Cosmo, Kraglin, Adam, Pfeil, and Adam's pet Blurp, set out on a new mission. The final shots show the Guardians in their new roles, with Rocket leading the charge, Groot towering over him, and the rest of the team a motley crew of misfits, ready for whatever adventures the universe throws their way. The Guardians of the Galaxy have faced some of the toughest challenges of their lives, but they emerged victorious, proving that with courage, determination, and friendship, anything is possible. Now that we've covered movie in a nutshell, let me give you the answer to that trivia question from earlier. The Groot you see here is in fact a different Groot from the Groot we know now in the present. He died in the first film, and he was reincarnated in his son, who we know now as Groot. Same name, but not the same person. Get it? Two different people. Two different things.
Whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? That's ridiculous. Do not bring me into this.
This movie was viscerally emotional to watch. I believe in part because of how attached we are to these characters. They've been around since 2014. People have grown up with them, not just in the main Guardians movies, but with them being incorporated into the wider MCU storyline. But the movie isn't all sad. There are exciting moments that are full of the action we crave from these kinds of movies. Watching with a packed theater reminded me why moviegoing is such a magical experience. The soundtrack, as usual, is iconic. This time around, Pete isn't sporting a Walkman because it was destroyed. He's got a Zune. And it's packed full of hits like Rainbow's Since You've Been Gone and Beastie Boys' No Sleep Till Brooklyn. There's a really sweet video of Florence Welch reacting to her song Dog Days Are Over, closing out the movie. She's sobbing, and honestly, that's exactly how I felt watching this scene. I'm a sucker for the solid use of music, especially when it's used to wrap up a movie. This song even psychs you out, just as James Gunn has been doing the entire movie, because there are so many times I thought, okay, they dead, and then they're actually completely fine, and I was so happy that they were. The song makes you think it's over, and then it picks up right back into the chorus. Everything. Rocket's story hits you in the gut as he remembers his childhood. His origin story framing this movie is exactly the type of emotional grounding a grand finale like this needed. It made us love Rocket even more than we already did, and reminded us that he's got a heart under all that snark. Speaking of confusing, maybe they aren't dead moments, Gamora is back, but she's not the one we grew to know and love. Gamora's death wasn't his decision, but the way James Gunn handled it was brilliant and devastating. And the way Zoe approached this character in a completely different way was equally as brilliant. This bitch is working. Not only is she working, she's rich. Avatar, Avatar 2, Guardians, Infinity War, Endgame, Star Trek, and also My Little Pony, the movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a bright musical roller coaster of a final chapter, wrapped in a melancholy bow. Out for 5 days, it's done $318 million worldwide, on an opening of $118 million. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh with an 82% critical score and a 95% audience score. And lastly, it got a cinema score of A. If you were into this video, I've got plenty more where that came from. Check me out right over there. Don't worry, the print reveal is coming right after I say bye. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ink Cinema. My name is Jake Okoa, and may the power protect you always. I'll see you next time.